showtime! Woo! 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 Silent and profiling. Woo! It's live and in color. Woo!
Welcome to the AFC Shakedown on the Mafia Sports Report. Please subscribe. Please hit the thumbs up. And let me get my guest on right now. And the crew is back. The crew is back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Finally, we haven't shot an AFC Shakedown in a minute. I want to say thank you for our special guest, Curtis, for joining us today. And real quick, we're going to do a little rundowns on where people can find you, because I like to do that now in the beginning because nobody's watching at the end. So, Curtis, where can we find you guys?
I'm not cool like the rest of these guys. I don't got the Twitter and all the other stuff. You can find me on YouTube, Ace per Head. That's where I'm at.
What's this Twitter about? All right. Captain D has something going on. Captain D.
I do have something going on. You can catch me on, it's coming soon, my YouTube channel, The V Show Podcast with Captain D. We're going to be talking some Dolphins. It's going to be mostly Dolphins. But we're going to be talking some other stuff too. We're going to be hitting on a variety of different other subjects, but we're mostly going to be talking some sports, some Dolphins, boxing generally. And you can also find me on Twitter at CaptainD_Fins Talk. So I'm excited about that. Keep an eye out for that.
I can't wait to hear about that Will Smith slap. What were your thoughts about that? But,
Dave Chappelle takedown.
So Trevor is not here with us today, unfortunately. Whatever's going on, we wish you well, Trevor. But Juan is here as usual. Juan,
yep, little old me. We are also on Twitter at Podcast Dynasty. You'll find us at any podcast platform, with Apple, Spotify, wherever you find it. And we have a Facebook group, the Sports Dynasty group, where we post a whole bunch of nice stuff that you guys would enjoy. So let's come on down, enjoy the conversation.
Yeah, man, they do everything, man, like baseball, basketball.
You were heavy on basketball
sports
right now.
Sports-related, they're doing it, man. Mikey, I mean, I know everybody knows you, but, go ahead and
where can you find me? Usually with you. Wherever you're at, where I'm at. On Mondays over on Buffalo Fanbase, me and Tommy have our show, the Mafia Sports Report. And then on Fridays, we're on #Sports. We do every other week right now. We're doing the Friday Night Lights with Joe from #Sports. And then now I'm popping on, the Shakedown. So wherever Tommy's at, I'm usually at.
That's right. And real quick announcement. Next Friday, me and Curtis are having a new show called the AFC Overtime at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So I want you guys to check that out. That's going to be basically covering the whole AFC. So not just the AFC East, everything AFC related. Me and Curtis will get to that, and it should be a fun show, man. But let's get right into this. Man, guys, I haven't talked to Juan. I haven't talked to you, Captain D, not off and on about the off season so far, the signings, the free agents. So I'm gonna start with Juan. How do you feel that your free agent signings went? Because I didn't see you guys do much,
signing?
But right. I'm sure you signed somebody. You did something. Tell us something. Anything to what the Patriots did.
I think there's been more subtractions than
there has to be something. Did Bill Belichick go like fishing or anything happen? Anything?
Fishing, yeah, maybe in Michigan waters they were fishing. There had definitely been more subtraction than addition, no question, when it came to the free agency period. The Patriots had no money because of the crazy, beautiful spending spree they went on the year before. So there was not much. The only person I can remember them signing, because I forgot that he existed, was Ty Montgomery, if he even makes the damn team. because of what happened in this drafting 2 running backs, which we'll get to later. So I don't even know where the hell he's even going to play at. But no, there was not much of stuff, just subtraction, like trading their best offensive lineman and Shaq Mason to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for 3 cents. Literally like a 5th round pick. Stuff like that was going on in the entire offseason. So that's why if I look gloom to you, it's because I am.
Well, so there's a positive. You guys did get the Buffalo Bills killer in Parker. You guys traded for him.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, that is.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
When he plays against the Bills, he just lights them up.
I will say this. He did when he had his best season. I believe it was 2019. I want to say, was when he was with Brian Flores, and Brian Flores had the coaching staff run a New England-ish type system, and that's what he played his best at. So if he does stay healthy, he's definitely going to be a positive for this D- receiving core before he got here, which is now a C-. So I mean, if you want some positivity for the New England side, there it is. A little speckle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not much going on in New England. No. And real quick, I do gotta. What's going on with the offensive coordinator thing, like in New England? What's the talks there?
I have no idea. That's the part that pisses me off more than anything. I don't even know who my coordinators are. I have no idea. No one I don't even know if Belichick knows at this rate. For all I know, it'd be.
So what are you?
I hope.
What are you missing right now?
Everything on the coaching staff, like everything, because Josh McDaniels left and took everybody with him. This is what I'm. If there's anything that scares me more than anything else at all, it's the fact that I don't even know it's May. I don't even know who my coaching staff is. For all I know, that fat pig Patricia might be a coordinator again. And that is one of my biggest fears. Biggest fears of all time is for that bastard to return to power. And now I could curse right? I'm shitting bricks.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shitting bricks.
You know what? Belichick is so hands-on, he just feels like he's going to call both sides of the ball.
That's what I think he's going to do. That's personally what I think is going to happen.
That's wild.
He's going to be the GM, he's going to be the head coach, and he's going to be the coordinators.
There's a literal
special teams coach, the defense coordinator.
Yeah, I think he's gonna do that. He's gonna personally tutor up Mac Jones himself. Not get a quarterback coach. No, he's gonna do it himself. He's gonna do everything.
He's just going on a golf cart
because
each group position.
Yeah, talk about a madman that Belichick's turning into one.
And the same because we also got Joe Judge back, and after the things we saw in New York Giants, so exactly. So he's gonna want to doing something too that scares the crap out of me. The only person I know that is kind of a merit who's doing an okay job is actually Troy Brown. He's in the coaching staff. So I was thinking maybe he can get a promotion or something. I hope, because it's better than Patricia. It's better than Joe Judge. So I'm hoping, but I don't know.
Rough.
You got Steve
there.
Belichick. You got Steve. You got little Stevie there.
Oh, that's true. You got that.
Oh, with the tongue guy, the stick out tongue guy, him. Yeah.
All right.
So it's been a rough.
I love this.
So we can say it's been rough. It's been rough in New England.
Yes. It's been rough since you put 50 on our heads. Yes, it's been rough.
Oh my God! Right, that hurt. That must have hurt Bill Belichick deeply. He's
Forget
lost
him.
His mind.
It hurt me. It hurt us. What?
At least he's
dude. No. I'm gonna show you something. You notice I don't have any New England gear on me, right? Do you want to know where it is?
Yeah.
It's literally in the corner of my freaking house, just collecting dust. And I refuse to pick it up until September because that's what the fuck they deserve after that atrocity of a game.
That's right. We never got a chance. We never got a chance to talk.
There's nothing to say. You can say whatever you want.
I don't rub that. Listen, that's not what I do. That was just it was showed who the better team was, and it was bad performance.
Putting it lightly, but okay.
So we're gonna jump ship here to Curtis. Curtis, talk to me about the offseason, man.
I need a new bottle of Jack. Look at the comment by Rick.
Beside the draft,
I need a bottle of Jack right now.
Man.
For me, it's. I was a Flores guy. They got some Dolphin fans that like them, miss them. A lot don't. but I don't know what's coming. But I'm intrigued. McDaniel is intriguing. He's out of all the guppies that were out there, that's the guy I wanted the most. He offers something very interesting. They spent like mad drunken sailors in trading, in free agency. They brought back Agba, who was the key for the defense. So that made me happy. A big fan of Agba. Tyreek Hill, I'm excited to see him paired up with Waddle, but a whole draft kind of makes me nervous. I love Armstead. Teron Armstead, to me, is the biggest piece by far. If he can stay healthy, he'll change this offense more than anybody else. Connor Williams, I like him. I don't know what happened. I try to study that and find out why the penalties, but even with all the penalties, he's better than anybody we've had in a long time, not named Tunsil. So you're going to have Williams, Hunt, and Armstead, and that's exciting to me, the offensive line, because that's the only thing that matters. The offensive line is going to make us respectable. It's going to let us run. It's going to make Tua be able to do something. It's going to get a passing game, keep the defense off. So I'm excited. But tentative, because Dieter can only block in the pass game. He really can't block in a run game. Jackson has been atrocious. The film is horrible on him. Eichenberg the same way, second, third. He looks best at left guard. So are these guys going to take that next step? I don't know. I'm sort of excited, a little tentative, because it could be a very big letdown. Dolphin fans are so high, and they were so high last year too. And the letdown that they felt last year from not making it, if it doesn't happen this year, my fans that I love Finn fans. I really do. It's like we're a tragic bunch that have been together for so long. They're going to have a big letdown. But I'm not saying that's going to happen. It's just I'm not certain until I see this offensive line pan out. Armstead's got to stay healthy. So I'm excited, but nervous.
So I got a question.
And one, go ahead.
I got a question. So I'm hearing Connor Williams is going to move to center. It's a position he hasn't played yet.
Maybe. They said they tried him out there. To me, from watching film, I spent a pretty good amount of time watching film on him. I like him at center better because he struggles with power. He's really good on doubles. He's really good at getting and helping with the double and then getting to that second level. And as center, he wouldn't have to deal with as much power, and he'd probably more of the hat on hat. Like when you run wide zone, one guy shoots and the other guy goes hat on hat. And I think that's really who would be really good. For me, him at guard and Dieter at center, these two guys both struggle with power. And when you have to run for those short yardage plays, or when some D tackles taught, hey, you know what? Just shoot and hold them up. He's going to hold up that whole flow of the line. And no matter how good Armstead is, if that power locks those two guys up, you ain't going anywhere. So
I'm kind of surprised you guys haven't looked at J.C. Treader yet for the center spot,
knees,
knowing that it's in the flex. Is it a knee issue?
Yeah, last year he didn't practice at all. Okay. He basically showed up to the games, but he'd been with those guys for so long. He had the chemistry. He knew them. This unit really needs stability, reps, practice. And the guy's like 31, 32. And I think somebody was saying that he wants 10 million and they offered him $6 million. I don't know about that. But to me, it's a little bit of concern. I mean, talent-wise, definitely.
I'm going to get to your question.
10 million on him, he goes down and he can't practice, then you got big problems.
Rick, I'm going to get to your question in a minute.
You guys did that last year with your wide receiver. You paid him $10 million to play like 5 plays.
They like to do that. And it's okay to spend a little bit, but and that's the thing too. My problem is that if Dieter goes down and he has a tendency to get injured, then you got to make a transition mid-season from guard to center if you want to move Williams there to get the best guy, and that's a big problem too. So that's why the offense. I love a lot of the stuff that's going down. I'm concerned about Howard. He's got injury history. Byron's got injury history. You need both those corners because there's nobody to fill those boots behind them and the offensive line. Other than that, I'm very excited.
D, what was your favorite offseason move for the Dolphins beside the draft so far?
Well, first of all, I want to say Curtis touched on everything right there. So I'm gonna go a different route here. Curtis
I got big mouth. Do what we want.
no Curtis did
It
a
happens.
great
Mikey does that to me.
Curtis did a great job of covering everything right there, and that is absolutely true. That I love everything what he just said. So I'm gonna go a different route here, just to try and change it up. The McLaren's in the garage. It's getting tuned, and it's ready to go. And I'm talking about Tyreek motherfucking Hill. We're ready to go.
But you're putting cheap gas in it.
No.
With
Oh,
you took the words right out of my mouth. Damn it.
That's ready to be seen. That's ready to be seen. But so that's the only route I can go on this one is that we got a new toy, and it's how we're gonna use that toy, and let's see how it goes. But I'm happy with all the additions. You know, Teron Armstead, that's a great addition. Connor Williams. But Tyreek Hill was a big game changer. How we utilize him, that's going to be the key factor in this. And that's going to be on Tua. That's going to be on Tua.
more
So
interested.
following that, that's good. Rick coming in for a question for Curtis. Do you hear about Tua working to improve his game in the offseason like Josh Allen does while working with Jordan Palmer? I would be interested to know. So what's Tua doing?
I heard, I really got gassed on the back story stuff after the season because there was so much intrigue. There was so much he said, she said, so many sources from all these reporters, and one guy'd say this and one guy say that. I heard some people saying, like I think it was Omar Kelly said that they were questioning to his work ethic. But, honestly, I like Omar. I like a lot of these other guys. But all year long, they got sources that say one thing. Then the other part of the season, they got a source. He says something else, and it ends up being wrong. So sometimes they're right. Sometimes they're wrong. I have no clue. If Tua's not, he's going to get exposed. But to me, I think there's like a misnomer out there with Tua. If you look, he has had no running game, no offensive line. People will say, well, that doesn't really matter. The guy doesn't have an arm. If you look at his stats, the biggest disparity in window throws that he lacked, that was like way off from the rest of the league, was 10 to 20 yards. He was like in the range of 20 and 30 plus. And obviously with the short ones, he was well in range. But it was that 10 to 20 mark where he was like, had 80 of those throws, where like the average thrower, like 16 to 15 was like 140. So he's got to hit those 10 to 20 yard throws. He's got arm enough for that. That's not the problem. To me, the run game, play action, extra time to block, he'll have no problem with. I don't think he's going to have a problem with it. I think his stats will dramatically go up. Will he stay healthy? Will he be good in the clutch? Will he be the guy to be worth that second contract? I don't know. But I think that you're going to see him really substantially hit those 10 to 20 yard passes with Waddle and Hill, who will make them much longer plays. But that's going to raise his stats. I don't know what he's going to be all around. I don't know what he's doing in the offseason. But I think you're going to see a big jump forward. It doesn't mean he's great. I'm not saying he's going to be great.
Hen Dog, real quick, asking about the soap opera of the Miami Dolphins with the Flores situation. And I guess I was going to ask you guys next about what do you guys feel about your new coach? And then I don't know if you guys got new OCs or anything like. So I'm just kind of curious on what your thoughts about the whole Flores situation. And then obviously the Brady news that came out during the offseason, if that rumor is true, or what you guys heard about that, and then what do you guys feel about your new coach?
D-man, take over, baby.
I feel great about our new coach and Mike McDaniel. He serves a different aspect on coaching and his vision. I like the whole collaborative thinking and I just like his mindset right now for the Dolphins. It's different, but let's see how it pans out. I like the moves that they've made, except for the draft. But let's see. But I like what I'm drinking the Kool-Aid right now when what he's preaching. Definitely.
He's the one.
What about you, Curtis?
For you guys.
To me, I can see the possibilities. The guy's smart. He's got a really avant-garde sense of humor and charisma, and that could play out big with success. But if there's not success, that's not going to play out as hot. See, a guy like Flores, his personality was bad times, in the trenches, under fire, things ain't going right. That's the kind of personality that suits that situation. Now, McDaniel, if you're doing well, that kind of personality like Pete Carroll is going to put gasoline on the fire and turn it to a rage. But you got to get that fire going. And that's why it's critical for me, for that offensive line to get the run game going, to get that defense and get some consistency. So it sounds good now, and I think the guy's got talent. But if that offensive line craps out, people are going to say McDaniel sucks, Tua sucks, but that's not the case. Offensive line makes the NFL world go around. There's no quarterback that wins
100%.
without an offensive line. There's no running back but Barry Sanders or
100%.
Will Payton in 1977 that makes things happen with no offensive line. And defenses without offensive line get gassed. So the Miami
I
Dolphins
agree.
did it all if Armstead stays healthy and the other three young guys step forward. If they do, McDaniel will look like a genius and they'll say Flores is an idiot, blah, 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 blah. And, but really it's just the offensive line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the coaching will build it up, but you can't build up a pile of crap and say it's going to be gold.
Yeah,
Now,
it's
did he
supposed to
bring in
be-
his own? Did he bring in his own coaching staff? Like, are you guys still working on the two OCs, or they're gone?
No,
you got
there's
There's no way in hell. Yeah.
They kept some
Okay.
people. Gene Pierre, the old offensive line coach. They kept Studdard. They kept the running backs coach, but they brought in a whole new group of guys, which they're talented and they're good. But look, Shane Gailey got ripped apart here. The guy was really good. Marshall was really good. But they had three rookies on that offensive line. But they had Flowers and Karras in the middle to stabilize it with Jesse Davis bouncing back and forth. Those vets and that talent stabilized the offensive line. And the Dolphins, who had the fourth most points in the league that year and 6 time of possession and 16 rushing attempts. Talent is king. If you're the guy, what's the guy, Scar from the Patriots. Now, that guy was special. The offensive line coach. He was a rare coach. He's like Hall of Fame. He's probably the most valuable coach, not named Belichick.
That's not a head coach.
Named Belichick through that process.
Yeah.
But you don't get guys like that. That's like, it's a Hall of Fame of Hall of Famers. Most offensive line coaches put a cherry on top, and they have to have a cake. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
if
Yeah.
they have the talent, it'll be good.
Well, I agree with that, and then me and Mikey probably talked about our offseason a gazillion times, so we'll get through it kind of quicker because everybody knows we had a very, very, very busy offseason with players and coaching staff. So, Mikey, I guess I'll take it to you, man. How do you feel the offseason went? The additions of the coaching staff as well as the players we added.
I think it's about as good as we could have hoped for, really. When Daboll left, I expected us to lose a lot more coaches. We didn't. We lost our offensive line coach, which I was okay with anyways because I wasn't a big fan. So we brought in Cromer on the O-line, who spent a lot of time recently in L.A. with the Rams and runs a lot of wide zone. He used to be the Buffalo's old OC or O-line coach back when we had Shady, and we were one of the top rushing offenses. So it'd be nice to get that guy back in the room. We bumped up Dorsey to OC. We brought in Joe Brady as the quarterback coach, the former OC for Carolina. And then we brought in Shula to be an offensive assistant. So we've surrounded our rookie. Yep. So we surrounded our rookie OC with a bunch of guys.
Your guys.
Yeah. So, but then we haven't even talked about the real big things. We redid our D line, brought in Daquan Jones, brought in Tim Settle, brought back Jordan Phillips and Shaq Lawson, and then we went ahead and signed Von Miller to put the cherry on top.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny, guys. Like, I never go by what our GM says anymore. Like, at the end of the presser, he said, "Don't expect any big splashes. Maybe a few guys." And, like, this dude signed like 12 guys. Like, it wasn't stopping. It seemed like my Twitter was every day we were signing a new player. Like, once we signed Von Miller, I'm like, that's it. We're capped out. That's it. Nope. We went and got Crowder and this guy and that guy. I'm like, what is going on here? So,
that was just the defensive side of the ball. I didn't talk about the offensive side of the ball. Because then we brought in Roger Saffold. We brought in Queensberry. We
Crowder.
We did let Beasley go, and Emmanuel Sandler's his contract ended and he walked. He's still trying to decide if he wants to play again, but we brought in Jameson Crowder. So we've done other things inside there. We brought in Duke Johnson, who actually played really good for the Dolphins at the end of the year.
He did.
He was one of your better running backs at the end. So, it'll be, at the end of the day, we'll see what comes out of it. And then we had our lovely draft, and I enjoyed our draft.
Yep, and we're going to get to, and that's a great lead into the draft. So let's get into the draft real quick, guys. We'll start off with the Jets, even though the Jets, unfortunately, there's no Jets guy here. By the way, I may have a Jets guy, so I'll let you guys know. I'm not going to say yet, but the AFC Shakedown may have finally found a Jets content creator to join us to give his side of things when it comes to Jets football. So let's get with the first pick here. Let's see here for the Jets. If I can pull that up, guys. Let's see here.
I got it. If you want me to,
you want
me to start running.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike. You might run it.
So with they had 2 first round, or really ended up with 3 first round picks. But the first at pick 4 overall, they took cornerback Sauce Gardner. With pick 10 overall, they took wide receiver Garrett Wilson, and pick 26 in the first round, they took D end Jermaine Johnson. I loved all 3 of these picks as players. It made me really mad that the Jets are the ones who took them. Because the chances are they're going to go to an organization that's just going to kill them, just like the old Raiders. I'm hoping.
I'm right with you. Yep.
I'm hoping that Saleh, because I really liked Bob Saleh coming from the Niners. I really hope he can get it turned around there. Because I don't want to see these talented guys go to an organization and just, wither away. It's. I watched the Bills do that to people for 17 years. I don't want to see it happen, to these talented guys. But, and then they came back in the second round with the 36th pick and took Breece Hall, who I'm not a fan of, but a lot of people loved him. They thought he was the top running back on the board. They rounded it out with a 3rd round pick of Jeremy Rucker, then an offensive tackle Max Mitchell, and a DN Michael Clemens. I like the Michael Clemens pick. That was a sneaky good mid-round pick as a DN.
Who was that? It was a sneaky round?
It's the DN Michael Clemens out of A&M.
I'm looking now.
Texas A&M.
Yeah, out of A&M. Super traitsy kid. Didn't test all that great, but his film looks fantastic.
Really? I'm going to check him out. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yep. So thank you, Mikey, for being our Jets correspondent. Since we don't have one. Yeah, I will. I'll talk a little bit about the Jets real quick because I don't know them too well. I thought they had probably one of the best. They were one of the best teams that they had an A+ in my opinion. They had one of the best drafts. Them and the Lions. I love the Lions picks as well. But the Jets, man. All those first round picks, they nailed them all, in my opinion. Breece Hall was like the cherry on top. Though I agree with Mikey, I'm not a Breece Hall fan. Thank God, I was like just anybody but Breece Hall for us. So we didn't pick him, but the Jets did, and good for the Jets. But they had a very solid draft. I got to give them credit. But they had 1 million picks, so it's kind of hard to screw it up there when you got that many in the first round. But teams can.
In the top 10, you screw that up, you don't have a job.
right. So, Curtis, I guess I'll get to you on the Jets. You know anything? If you want to comment anything about the Jets? Draft.
I'm kind of fascinated about the Jets this season because I think when you look at what they did the last 2 years, last year Becton was out. and Michael Carter got injured. And they had a lot of injuries up front. But they got Laken Tomlinson at left guard. They got McGovern at center, Fant at left tackle. What's his name? Vera Tucker at right guard. Excellent run blocker. And then they got Becton. Then they got Carter and this guy Brees. And then they got the dude Rucker, supposedly one of the best blocking tight ends in the draft.
But they just signed 2 tight ends in the free agency too.
Yeah, and they got CJ Uzomah, the guy from the Bengals, who I really liked. So for me, I think that they're building a very physical, styled offense. I'm uncertain about Zach throwing the football, but that front is going to be comparable with the Bills and New England for best offensive lines in the division. And if Becton stays healthy, that's going to be very formidable front. They were 27th in rushing. So if all that line comes together and stays healthy, and they can move that rushing offense up the charts, that's going to take a lot of weight off Tom Wilson, give him a chance to develop. And I think they could take a solid step forward. I mean, 29th in run defense and 27th in rush offense. That's a recipe for disaster. So if they could step forward in that run defense a little bit, but take big steps in that run offense.
Yeah, keep dreaming.
Yikes.
Hey, the Patriots can't stop the run last year, man. I was so that was.
And we laid 50 on them. It's going to happen again. So, don't forget that.
Oh, God.
So I think the Jets are headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's just it's going to come down is Wilson a bust or not. If he's like a 7, they'll be all right. If he's a bust, they're screwed.
100%. And I wasn't like excited. Like he didn't excite me last season. He didn't show me anything that was like there was no wow factor behind Zach Wilson's game last season. Though he was on a bad team, bad coach. Like there was a lot.
No weapons.
No weapon. I mean, I get it. So I would say there's a 3-year rule with him, but he just didn't overly impress me with his throwing. You know, I think his throwing power is average.
He had a couple games where he showed
something. But so did Mike, whatever his name,
Mike White.
Yeah,
Mike White experience.
I don't know. No. What does that tell you? But we'll see. It's a 3-year. It's a 3-year rule, and that kind of goes for Tua as well. Like. And I guess I'll go back to the Tua thing real quick for you guys. Is this his last season for you guys? If he doesn't get you to the playoffs deep, like, are you guys giving up on Tua, or if you don't make the playoffs, let's say?
You want to take that D? You want me to?
You can take a D. Go ahead.
That is a very loaded question, and I think it's
a loaded question, but it has to be answered.
It has to be answered, but I think that the answer comes on the base of the play of this year, and there's so many factors again this year that are playing into that with the additions that we have in the offensive line. But I do think if he does underperform this year, then we need to start looking in another direction. I think I honestly do feel that.
Yeah, don't you guys have multiple draft picks next year, just in case it's multiple first, just in case he doesn't do well to help get you guys up?
Yes.
So that I think that's always kind of been the plan. They gave him 3 years, see what he does. If he doesn't, they have the capital to move up to get a new quarterback.
It's just weird to me that there's so many since you drafted Tua. There's been so many trade rumors, and then the Brady thing.
That poor guy, man. He's never been able to settle in.
It's just so weird. Is it the owner? Is it the GM? Like, what's going on there? Is it just they just don't 100% trust him moving forward, or like what is that? Because normally, like, you don't see that often. Is what I'm saying. Like Josh Allen come in he didn't have the greatest season in 2018, but we weren't like, you didn't hear that talk about getting rid of him already. It was just Tua was kind of thrown under the bus right away. So I'm just curious.
I think as far as the trade rumors, as far as Deshaun Watson, anytime a situation like that comes up to where you have a situation like that where a player is interested in playing for a franchise, which he was interested, so they say, is playing for the Miami Dolphins, and you have a quarterback in Tua that you're kind of unsure about, and there's an opportunity there, but you're not. It's a sticky situation with Deshaun. So of course, that when does that situation come up? It's it's rare. So of course, I mean, there was interest there. I believe with the Dolphins, I really do, and it, you know we were underperforming at the time. So why wouldn't they kick the tires on that? You know what I mean?
Ooh, that's a great question by Hen Dog. Would you rather have Tua or Baker Mayfield?
Oh,
That's a
Tua,
really good question. What
Tua.
about you, Curtis? So you would stick with Tua, D. Curtis, I'm curious. Your thoughts.
Well, you see, for me, the whole
That's a
thing
great
is
question.
almost like, first off, you draft a quarterback coming off a major hip injury. Then somebody 7 weeks into the season decides, hey, let's start him without consulting the offensive coordinator, the staff, and really the head coach. Let's put him in. He has no extra practice reps, doesn't know the playbook, isn't fully healed. Let's throw him in there. And then when the media comes and starts burning him up and the coach tries to win a game, pulls him out to win the game, then you burn the coach. And then you go into the next season, you lose Gailey, who's a guy who you'd want to be there. You get rid of Flowers and you get rid of Karras, and you don't have an offensive line. You get rid of the offensive line coach, and then the coach and the GM are having fights with the owner and all this. You screwed this thing up from the beginning. But the reality is you can't. You have Tua. You have him. You have nothing else really. So you should be waiting. If another quarterback falls into your lap and you don't have to sell the franchise to get it, draft him. Worst case scenario, Tua develops, you keep him and you trade the other guy, you develop him and you get picks for it. You know what I'm saying? But you have Tua. You're gonna have to wait till next year to ask for the 5th-year option. You see how he plays out this year. You see what he does. If he doesn't do great, and the quarterback's in your lap, draft them. I mean, you got to just have the best quarterback available without selling the franchise. You know what I mean?
I tell you what. Since we started this AFC East shakedown, Tua talk is like the chat goes crazy for Tua. Like that is the number. It's not even Bill stuff. It's just Tua. If I can just come on and be like Tua, and like I'll have like a whole bunch of chats right away. Like we just talked Tua the whole night. It's like crazy to me.
I just want to say, I mean, some of the questions I'm seeing, will the Flores controversy be a distraction this year? And I read that question. I'm just kind of like, no.
Guys are tanking.
No,
shame on you.
No, I think
tanking the Woodgate. Taking for the draft.
If McDaniel comes out slow and they're having a bumpy road, then the question's going to come, should you got rid of Flores? But if he wins, nothing's going to talk about nothing. No one's going to say anything. And that's the problem I have is Chris Greer and Ross mostly set their players up and their coaches up to fail. There's so much pressure on McDaniel this year with all these moves. I'm not saying they're bad moves, but now McDaniel's in a situation that if he doesn't win, he's a bad coach and he shouldn't have been coach. And it's going to be extra pressure on him because of all these big moves. And Tua, same thing. All it takes is Armstead going down week 2 for 4 or 5 weeks and his offensive line crashing, and you have a rough 4 or 5 weeks, and then all of a sudden the questions come out. And I just feel like again and again they don't, like Eichenberg. You know, they drafted him for a second and third, and then they drafted him to be a tackle. They brought him in, and the staff evaluated him as a guard. Then he got thrown into the tackle spot. Jackson got thrown to the guard spot, who can't play guard. Jesse Davis is a guard who's playing tackle. Everybody got screwed, and it's everybody's fault except for Ross and Chris Greer. You know what I mean? It's always everybody else's fault. Ross has been cutting everybody's throats since he's been here. Chris Greer came in, and he had to cut some throats to get onto the top, and then he's brought the picks in, but then it was Flores who was the bully making all the picks. But then we keep Greer because he had a great draft last year.
Oh my God.
So did Flores make the picks, or he didn't? He only made the bad picks, and Greer only made the good picks. It's just like mind-boggling.
Oh,
You know
he's
what I
on
mean?
a
It's, just,
roll.
Wow.
it's high-level dysfunctionality. It doesn't mean we can't do well this
Wow.
year, but you got to be honest. Fans are desperate, man. I really feel bad for my Finn fans. I mean, it's so hard. I grew up in the 70s when we were a good team. It felt good on Sundays. It felt, even when Marino, when you weren't winning. But since like mid-2000s, it's been a horror show. There's fans that I know have never seen the Dolphins win a playoff game. They're desperate. They are so desperate.
I get that.
And
Wasn't that
it's
long
just,
ago we were
it
there.
feels like, I feel like the media plays them because they're constantly telling you, Greer is a good GM. We need to keep him because he got Holland and he got Waddle. But then Flores was in charge. He was bullying everybody and he was making all the calls and Greer was just a yesy man. It's just constant BS and uncertainty. Nobody knows. And I just feel like McDaniel's a good guy. You know, I feel like there's a lot of good guys, little coaches and players, and they're always getting screwed. That's why I just want this team to come out hot, because if not, it's going to boil. The media's going to boil.
I mean, it's a brand new system. It's hard to come out hot in a brand new system.
That's Mikey, you're so
A lot
right.
of turnover.
That's my thing.
100%.
There's just so much pressure.
New philosophy.
So much pressure.
I mean,
Right,
talk about putting your new head coach in a pressure cooker. I mean, when Buffalo picked up Sean McDermott, everyone assumed we were tanking because we were trading all these guys away.
Yep.
And, you know, there was no pressure to win right away.
Yep.
It's just,
I mean,
Right.
again, it goes,
And by the way, Curtis.
I bring up, I'm sorry, I begin again.
Yeah, go ahead.
You might hate Flores. You might say he's the boogeyman. He's got bodies in the basement. He just was the worst coach ever. He should have just been a defensive coach. Somebody in 2020 came in, didn't consult Gailey, didn't consult the staff, and went against Flores and said two is the starter and leaked it to the media before. And so everybody on the team heard it before the coach could tell them. He wasn't involved. So somebody at the top did this and screwed him. You don't think if they screwed this man like that, they're going to screw him, McDaniel, or Tua, whoever you like. But people think that Ross is a good guy and Greer's a good guy. And maybe he's a snake, but maybe he's a good drafter. I don't know.
As a Bills fan, like, I don't like feel bad for you guys because we went through this like 20 seasons or something. Like we feel your pain. We totally understand what it is to like be on this coaching and GM carousel, you know, like just getting a new guy every 2-3 years. 1 year a guy quits on you, like Doug Marrone. I mean, there was like
he quit.
leftover. Like, who's this guy?
I don't want to be the head coach of that team anymore. There's only 32 jobs. He's like, yeah, I'm good. I'll go be a coordinator somewhere else.
Yeah.
How bad does your owner have to be?
I dreamed to be a head coach all my life, but that's good.
That's why Fin fans got to pray we win, man. Fin fans, you got to pray we win early and often.
Quarterbacks we know too well that came here, that were drafted, that didn't work out. Free agents, like, yeah, bro, I feel you guys' pain, but
now you're sitting pretty, Mister. I feel my pain. It's good to feel my pain when you're on top.
I hope I continue to feel your pain for years to come. Yeah. I don't want you to be good at all ever. I do miss all the AFC East teams suck for a long, long time.
I will say though, I miss that rivalry we had with the Dolphins. I do. I love those games. I know you don't.
I don't miss it
but,
at all.
But what was the point?
We still got to Super Bowl over and over and over and over.
Yeah, but those were great games, Mikey. Those were like the problem is like we were, and you know, I know we're getting a little off track, but the early '90 Bills, like AFC hated us because we kept getting to the Super Bowl, and like Dan Marino probably should have won again at some career if it wasn't for us. You know, like we ruined it for a lot of guys.
That roster of yours was so good, dude. It's crazy good.
It just couldn't be good enough.
All right, Tommy, let's get this train back on the track.
Yeah, I got you. So
over to the Patriots draft.
Yeah. So no, actually, stick with the Dolphins. So we're on the Dolphins now. So go with the Dolphins draft. You guys didn't have many. I'll start with Curtis. How'd you feel like your draft went, man?
I mean, they did what they could with the limited animal. I'd like offensive lineman. This guy could be a good linebacker. Questions about the amount of snaps he had, whether he can get it cerebrally. I wanted offensive lineman, but I can't complain about the pick. The wide receiver in the 4th round, though, I really like Zach Tom. He went to the Packers. I thought he would have been a really good lineman, center for us, at least as a backup to push Dieter. Thought we should have taken him, but, we'll see. They got talent, the 2 guys I got, but we'll see.
That's what happens when you give up the world for one player. But go ahead, Captain D.
All right.
Oh,
this is going to be this is going to be I like the pick that we had. I really think that he's a he can be talented. He's a fast linebacker. He's great at we should have gone offensive line. We should have gone offensive lineman. I'm upset with the pick. He was a rotational player. Everyone wants to say, he's from Georgia and they had a great defense. Yes, they did. But he was a rotational player in there. At best, he's going to be probably a special teams player. Maybe if we part ways with Jerome Baker, he might fill that spot in a year or 2. Who knows? But I wasn't happy with the pick. I think that the best pick that I like was the wide receiver. And I don't want to butcher his name, but Eric is Kanamwa. It's a very tough name, but
Mikey might be able to do it. Mikey's a
do it.
college expert.
Do it.
Go ahead, Mikey.
As you Kanama.
Yes, it's very difficult. But yeah, we lost Albert Wilson to free. He's no longer on the team. We lost Mac Hollins to the Raiders. And Mac Hollins, I loved. I think he was a great special teams, and he filled in when Devontae Parker was hurt. But yeah, he could fill in that special teams void and maybe build into something. I think he could be a dynamic player for us. But no, Channing Tyndale, linebacker, he's got great speed, but he lacks on decision making. I think we should have gone offensive line, get some depth there. We didn't have that many picks.
Was there a lineman there that you wanted?
I can't comment at that because I didn't go that deep into the 3rd and 4th rounds of the draft where we were picking. But at that point, I mean, hey, we should have picked, at least get some depth there. Take a shot.
But I don't mind. Yeah, I agree with D. They're like Mikey. Even if you don't know the guy, like we didn't know Spencer Brown either, and we got him in what I think he was the 4th round pick, right?
Third
round. Okay, 3rd round pick, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? So just because I understand.
No, I just wondered if there was a player there.
I wouldn't know either.
I like Cole Strange, but the Patriots grabbed him in the 1st round.
Tommy, you did.
No,
I had to.
No, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
But I will say is that I wasn't. We had 4 picks. I wasn't impressed with the picks that we had, other than our 4th round pick, Eric. I'll let you finish that, Mikey. Ezukanama. He seems like right. I think that he can be something special for us. But hey, listen, I'm a Dolphins fan. If Channing Tyndale, if we're putting his name up on the Ring of Honor in a couple of years, that's awesome. I'm rooting for him. I hope that he's going to be a great player. But I really wanted an offensive lineman there. But I hope he pans out. That'd be great if he does.
The one thing, though, D, the one thing I like about him, Tyndale, is he played a lot of spy and a lot of blitz. And
he did.
To me, in a dime or nickel package, to have him come in and spy Allen, I don't like Baker chasing Allen down. But I really like Tyndale. He's a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, a little bit better athlete. So he really played a lot of spy, roles of spy and a blitzer. I agree with you mostly, but, being a fan, put my hopium out there, I think that's a possibility that it could,
I agree.
All right, now let's get to the team that had 10 picks, and that's the Patriots. So we're gonna get to Juan, who looks very excited to talk about his 2022 draft. Go ahead. I already put it out there. Your first pick in the draft, Mr. Cole Strange. So go ahead, Juan. The floor is yours. The chat's waiting. They can't wait to hear this. Go ahead, brother.
Okay.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm just gonna read out the names first, and then I'll start talking about people after that. All right. So Cole Strange out of Chattanooga, Taquan Thornton out of Baylor out of second round, Marcus Jones out of Houston the third round, Jack Jones, another cornerback from Arizona State in the fourth round, Pierre Strong, running back from South Dakota State in the fourth round, Bailey Zapp, quarterback out of Western Kentucky in the fourth round also. Kevin Harris, another running back out of South Carolina in the sixth round. Sam Roberts, defensive tackle from, is that supposed to say Northwestern Missouri State University? Whatever the hell that is. In the sixth round, Jason Hines, center out of LSU, and Andrew Stuber, offensive tackle in Michigan in the seventh round.
Man, that's
okay. Yeah, there's a lot of picks, but most of them were in like the bottom 200, so whatever. Yeah. So this, you probably expected me to destroy this draft all up and down the place. Yeah, you're not gonna get that. It wasn't as bad as everybody thought it was.
All right.
People are exaggerating the ever-loving crap out of it. I understand that the Cole Strange pick, everybody's like, what in the fluff was that? I get it. But if you look how that draft, because that draft first round was very interesting, how everything blew up after like pick 10. Very interesting. There were two guards already drafted before Cole Strange was, and Cole Strange projected to be the third or fourth best one out of them. So one of them was in the top 20 already. And I think the one that was drafted in the top 20 wasn't even in most people's like top 50, if I'm not mistaken. So they got to reach there for that guard. I believe it was the Chargers, I think, who picked that guard I'm talking about, I think. I don't remember who took Zion. I'm a little unprepared. I apologize, but I forget who took Zion Johnson. I think he was projected to be the best guard out of all of them. He was drafted beforehand too. I forget who got him. So that was third best guy. After what Belichick did with Shaq Mason, the guard was actually our biggest need, not corner. Corner was second. Guard was number one, because how the hell we're going to protect our quarterback when we have our guard, our best offensive lineman. So we definitely need a guard. We definitely reached though. I agree with everyone. I sat there and I'm like, well, it was in a live show, so it's there to see in the internet. But I sat there and I'm like, with a very big question mark on my forehead, like, huh? And I knew who that was. But I'm like, in the first? But the way the draft fell, I get it, like 3%, I understand it. But I'm all with you guys saying that he should have been picked at least in the second round. But God knows, because our next pick after 29, I think, was 54 at the time. What he got picked between 29 and 54, there's a huge possibility he would have been, but I can guarantee we could have got him at 40 or 41. We could have drafted up to 40, 41, 42 and got him there. But I mean, whatever, I guess. But he definitely reached. But I have a good feeling about him, especially in New England, where most offensive linemen play at least average to good. So it will be fine, whatever. Taquan Thornton is the scariest pick to me, because he goes completely out of the mold of the New England formula. This guy had the fastest 40 time in the draft at a 4.28.
4.2.
So this is very interesting. So the biggest part that I know that makes me happy is that Belichick is finally trying to get some damn speed into this team. Finally. So now, will he work out in this type of system? I'm not entirely sure. However, we have Parker to play our X. Aguilar won't have as big as a role anymore, because please don't let him have a bigger role. God damn it. He will be able to hopefully take a lot of the stress off of him, and maybe even phase him out, and will be able to take over the Z spot. He's the one that I have no idea about. A guy running that fast in New England Patriots, not named Randy Moss, is unheard of, and no one's gonna know how to really really know how he's going to be. So he's a big X factor for his offense. If he's able to be as good as people think he's going to be, and as fast and as explosive as he was in Baylor for the point of time that he wasn't, this actually breaks open a lot of good things for the New England Patriots offense, which needs to happen because they have a lot of catching up to do, because a certain person in North New York has an explosive as F offense, and we got to do something to score with them. So, not lose by 50 again. 21 will be nice, not 50. Marcus Jones and Jack Jones. We got two Joneses. Mind you, we have a Jonathan Jones in our team too, our cornerback. So we have three Joneses as cornerback.
Keep it up with the Joneses.
That's going to be an interesting jersey.
I know.
Who's the number one Jones jersey?
So the problem here is that they're all like 5'10" and under. So they're all basically slot corners. So that I already figured this is going to happen, but that automatically shows to me this is going to be his own defense. We can't play man with this type of cornerback tandem. They're too small and too skinny. It's not going to work. So we're playing a primarily zone defense, especially since we have Jabril Peppers. I forgot about him. I'm glad I remember him just now. That's actually a pretty good pickup. Kyle Duggar, still playing safety, and A.J. Phillips, who had an extension. So that's three safeties who could play in box. So that means that this defense is no question is going to be primarily zone. Just like what we were with Patricia when he had him at defensive coordinator. We're back to that. So my only problem is if we went that small, Andrew Booth was kind of still there at 29. Could have took him and then traded it up in a second and got Cole Strange, and I would have been a lot happier with that.
Right.
But I mean, names is names, and who knows how these kids are going to play at the end of the day. So I mean, we'll find out. I guess that's all I can say, right? But Belichick also has a pretty positive success rate with cornerbacks anyway. The ones that are not drafted in the second round anyway. He has a positive hit rate with that. So we'll see how these kids play, even though he's better with the undrafted guys than the drafted guys. But Pierre Strong, another really fast running back. I think he ran in a 4.3, if I'm not mistaken, and he can catch the football. So this is probably this is who you like. So this is gonna be the James White replacement, because James White's on a 1-year deal. He's gonna be gone and he's old. So it's time to replace. He's going to be his replacement, or maybe even the future back after next year, because both our running backs, if I'm not mistaken, this is their last year in their contracts. Hence why we got two running backs. These kids are going to be the ones that more likely replace both of them if we get rid of both of them. Both Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson was drafted really low. So this is around the last year of their contracts. So that's why we got. If anybody wondered why I got some running backs, that's why. And Bailey Zapp. So this was stupid, but we always draft the quarterback in these middle rounds. If you guys remember through history.
Oh yeah.
If you remember this, we do. Like the Ryan Mallett's, Jarrett Stidham's, all these other I forget the other dude's name, Kevin O'Connell, you remember back in like 09, 08, all those quarterbacks. This is another one of those. But this was a 4th round pick. You could still find talent in the 4th round. So this should have been used for someone who can actually contribute, not a guy who may not even make the team for all I know. I don't know what the hell is this kid going to do, but whatever.
He was actually one of the NCAA's most accurate passers. He does fit that mold of what he's looking to do.
I definitely know he does. Too bad he's not going to play. No. That's what I care about.
Well, I mean, maybe assume with your O-line in shambles that Matt's going to get hurt. They need to have a backup.
And he's gonna do worse. So what's the difference? That's my point. The only reason why this pisses me off because it was the 4th round. If this was the 6th, whatever. I don't really care. But you can still find talent in the 4th round. So I'd rather that be used for someone who contribute as soon as possible than just a backup who may never even touch the field as a Patriot. That's my biggest problem with that. Sam Roberts, I don't even know what division he played in college, but it's a division probably no one even heard of, to be honest. But from Belichick's case, from what I hear in a lot of Patriots specific parts that I read in, he actually was probably the best defender in his division in college. So it's like, all right, so they take a stab at him. We need some interior defensive line help. So screw it. He'll coach the guy. Belichick likes to find these diamond in the roughs. So that might be a diamond in the rough right there. and we have backup linemen because everybody needs backup linemen. But,
Yep, 100%.
The
There's nothing wrong with that.
100% place where Belichick always finds good players is offensive line. So backup center, backup tackle.
You know where the best linemen come from? Late in the draft.
Yep,
Yeah,
always.
It
always happens that way.
I will give this draft like a C. So that's not that good, but people are giving it like H's and Q's and Y's. So it's not that bad. It's not the best draft, I can tell you that, but this definitely was not as bad as I feel like we haven't had a typical what the fluff Patriot draft in a while. We just seen him pick a lot of names and then fail. That's what we've seen for the last 10 years. Here, no one knows who these people are most of this draft, and that spells Belichick all over the place, and that's why people are giving it a bad grade because they don't know who they are, not because they suck. It's because they don't know who they are. So uncertainty equals F. Yeah. And that's why they're giving them a grade. But I still give it like a C. This could have been better, but I don't remember the last time I said this, but I said building up this defense, this is a multi-year rebuild on this defense because they're too damn slow and old. So one draft was not going to fix his whole defense. One offseason was not going to fix his defense. The way that the Bills dismantled them, this is going to take 2 or 3 years tops to fix this whole defense. So here's the start. Let's get faster, and that's what he's trying to do. My biggest concern, I'm sorry, I'm taking a while, but my biggest concern
you got it,
is that there are no linebackers drafted in this draft, and that's a big question mark for me right there. This linebacking core we have, I don't know what's up with it, because there's a lot of people who we have that were in redshirted or injured from last year. I didn't play anything. They're going to be on this field. So like we traded from Mac Wilson from the Cleveland Browns. He's going to wind up playing a big role. Anthony Jennings is going to wind up playing. I believe he was hurt last year, I think, or he was the one that redshirted. I don't remember. Josh Uche is going to be playing on the edge. I don't know how he is going to be because he's a smaller linebacker who plays on the edge. And, Belichick doesn't like that. They usually like the bigger guys. This is going to be a different defense that we're normally seeing when 2022 starts.
You're going to play one linebacker. You're going to play one linebacker.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And we play
DBs on the field.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. 100%. Yep. We straight up going to play hybrid, basically, of the whole defense. So it's going to be a different year for Patriots. So if any Patriots fans watching for some reason, because we didn't do anything this offseason, this is going to be different. We're not going to be used to seeing what we're seeing this year. It's going to be a different year.
I am curious though. When will Kraft take that GM away from Bill Belichick? Will he ever? Is there ever talks of that, or are they just going to continue?
Over Brady.
I get that, but it's just weird to me that in time, even like Jerry Jones, who loves certain guys, he fired him eventually. So I'm just curious, is he just going to ride with him until Bill wants to go?
As far as GM, yep.
Well, I mean GM. I'm talking about coach. I'm talking about head. Being the GM. No,
you're really setting me up for something that I want to say so bad, but I don't have the cojones to say it. I'm gonna keep it to myself for another year, which I hinted of what I'm thinking about. If you're really smelling, if you smell what I'm cooking right now,
I am.
I'm holding it in. I'm gonna wait, but I got a feeling in my stomach, and I just don't want to say it, and then things change, and then
right, and then you're eating crow. Right, you're eating crow.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Tommy, you know what's going to happen is Belichick's going to finally retire from being a head coach, and he's going to go be the president of football operations and just be the guy, kind of like Bill Parcells did. And
but that doesn't. I get it, but that doesn't always work. I mean, just because you're a great coach. Yeah, doesn't mean you'll be a good GM.
When you have won as many Super Bowls for Kraft as he has, he's in that God mode.
I get it, but owners, I get it, but I wouldn't think that way. But I understand.
Kraft got on them last year.
I'm going to defend the Patriots here. Something I don't like to do.
Yeah, go for it, Curtis.
Sometimes when you're a rich kid, you get a nice toy for Christmas. I got that piece of junk and you throw it away. And you're like, no big deal. You guys took Mac Jones, won 10 games, beat the Bills in Buffalo, and went to the playoffs.
With the act of God. He needed 90-mile-an-hour winds to beat Buffalo.
Yeah, but bottom line is the Dolphins
still beat us.
Haven't been to the playoffs since what, 2016?
Mm-hmm.
To me, you got to give him this year. If you look at it, they had trouble throwing the football because they didn't have talent really at the receiver position. They were struggling with that. They had some injuries at the tight ends throughout the year, some injuries early on with the offensive line, but they couldn't stop the run. And if you can run the football and stop the run, that creates the framework for what they were trying to do last year. But they could not stop the run. Judon played terrible against the run. Uche played terrible against the run. The draft pick, that tackle you got, whatever his name is in the second round, he was terrible
Christian
against the
Barmore,
run. Yeah. And if you watch them, and I don't like them, but Mac Jones played admirably. Your run game was very potent, but that defense, while it was good against the pass, could not stop the run. And when you can't stop the run, that wears that defense down. And so to me, I was very concerned with the draft because they didn't seem like they rectified that inability to stop the run. Now they brought Jabril Peppers over, and I think it was Mikey and maybe you, Juan, said that they're going to have a different. Belichick knows defense, and he's going to try something a little different this year. He's going to do a little tweak, and it's not beyond him because he has turned the board on the NFL several times. I'm not talking about the cheating. I'm talking about it on the field. So the most dangerous position is when you got your enemy backed up with nowhere to go. And that's what Belichick is, and it makes me nervous. If they can stop the run,
a real question. Why didn't anyone tell Dable that the Patriots are terrible against the run?
Yeah.
Because Dable doesn't like the run.
I'm about to say, did y'all need it, though? Like,
come on, Dable. Come on, man.
Josh Allen did plenty of the running for you. Like,
Curtis,
we
needed you, Curtis, in that to tell Dable they're bad.
I said at the beginning of last year, covering your team, I said, you got to run the ball. Dable scares me.
Yeah,
Dable heard that, said, F Curtis, we're going to pass all game long.
Yeah, no, I will tell you, looking at the Patriots draft, I have two of my favorite picks. Marcus Jones out of Houston. The kid is super uber talented. He just has off-field issues. So if he can keep his nose clean, he's gonna be really
usually a good place for that here. Yes.
Yep. And then Pierre Strong. This kid is gonna be, he's gonna come in as the speed back to start. This kid played at North Dakota State. Give him some time. He is so talented. He's gonna be a star in this league.
Yep. Yeah, that's that.
Playing for the Patriots makes me sick.
Me and Mikey were talking about, we were talking about doing mock drafts. And I love Pierre Strong, because I wasn't thinking about a running back early. I was saying, hey, I wouldn't mind one, but later on, though I do like our pick, but Pierre Strong he
averaged 6 yards a carry in college.
He has speed, he has the power. Like he's a good back, man. I think he's going to be a good back in this league. You guys got him in the fourth round
in that offense too. He's going to be good back in that offense.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, even though you've traded away some of your offensive line, the Patriots know how to build offensive lines, and they know and their run schemes are elite. That's it's what he does. So you put a kid that has that kind of talent back there, because you saw what Ramondre Stevenson did. He came out of nowhere last year and put up big numbers. And then Damian Harris, another late round guy. Now you give a kid who actually has the speed and the talent behind that, who just needs to be molded. That I don't like that pick for you guys at all. You should cut him today. You should cut him today.
No, I'm good. And that's and that's like the whole point. I think this draft is just to make this team younger and faster. Faster is the biggest word, the F word. Fast, quick, speed, both defensively and offensively. That's what this is about. So again, Patriots fans here, whoever's listening, this is what he's trying to do. And the reason why he's not getting the bigger guys up front, whatever, he's trying to make this team faster. I remember seeing a lot of these times we keep saying we can't stop the run. It's not only just from blocks. It's the fact that people will literally just speed past us. That's what I saw more than anything else when we couldn't stop the run. They'll just run past it. Forget the blocks. So I think he's really trying to make both these sides of the ball quick, because that's what the speed is. This is what this league is starting to get to. Quick, fast pace, fast athletes, quick. He's
Yeah,
trying to catch up
100%.
with the time, so that's what this draft is about.
Yeah. No.
So,
All right,
Those-
Mikey.
those-
Freaking
those-
out.
Those
Go
are
ahead,
two
Mikey.
areas I really enjoy. I really like to draft. Thornton was one of my sleeper guys I loved. I don't love him in the second round because he's very raw.
Yeah, we
He needs to
definitely
work
reach
on
him too.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
it was a reach, but the kid has speed and he has good hands. He just needs to
Yeah.
learn the route tree.
Real speed.
And then Strange, everyone loved him. It was just he was picked early. But you know
Yeah.
what? If he turns into a Pro Bowl guard, does it matter where you took him?
Yeah.
You know?
Thornton's a little lean though. If there's going to be one knock on him, the only knock is like he is
disappears.
really
Yeah, he's like 180.
and they're saying he will not, like, he's not a player that, like, that's just how he's been his whole life. So it's not like you know, you're going to say, oh, he can go gain weight. Like, no, he's going to be a thin guy. The only problem he has, like, you know, separation, like with a physical defender, is he going to get, you know, locked up there because, you know, he's not very strong. But man, lightning speed. So yeah. But going on to the Bills' very last draft, we're going to start with Mikey. Mikey, go ahead, man. I know we talked about this over and over and over,
we
but
can talk about the Bills all day long, and I'll be happy to do it. That's fine. We start with, and I went into the draft, and you know, the people that are in the chat know, I'm like, take corner round 1. The rest of the draft is just all, you know, just all gravy for 2022.
Me and Mikey were in agreement.
Yep, you know, take corner in round 1. Everything else is just, you know, that locks up our last real opening that we need to fill for 2022. We took Kaiir Elam out of Florida. I will tell you, I was not the biggest Kaiir Elam fan to start. I didn't do as much work on him because he has tackling issues. So I didn't feel he fit what the Bills would want, because Sean McDermott loves, you know, aggressive tackling corners. So I really thought we were going to go Andrew Booth Jr. here. After he was picked, and I saw some of the behind the scenes stuff come out, and they saw like him hand out the notebook. Like, he just screams process guy. Like, if I could see that stuff ahead of time, I probably would have, you know, rose this kid up on my board. But you don't get to see that. You know, you're going off of tape. So I learned a lesson here. Love this pick now. He still has some things to work on, but, you know, we have great coaches who tend, you know, you got Levi Wallace, was an undrafted free agent who they coached up. They have Dane Jackson, who filled in admirably for Trey White last year in the 7th round, who they coached up. So now they have another elite traits guy. I'm good with it. In the 2nd round, we traded back twice and grabbed James Cook. Ideally, is he the RB1 that everyone was hoping for? No, but man, he is a weapon in the pass game and the run game. He's the type of guy that we needed. He's the J.D. McKissick that they were looking for in the offseason. That
younger
the
and
Bills
better,
and went back
faster,
and faster. You know, all the way around. Love the James Cook pick out of Georgia. The 3rd round, this one got me kind of scratching my head, puzzled me. Terrell Bernard out of Baylor. Dylan Parham was on the board. Dylan Parham was comped as Shaq Mason light. Everyone loved him. He had the guard flex, position. I thought he'd be ideally to fit in because we signed Robert Shaffold for 1 year, signed Quisenberry for 1 year. Cody Ford's on his last year. We did just sign Ryan Bates, but we need someone in the pipeline. And we went with a undersized linebacker. What I didn't think about, and what Joe Marino over on Locked On Bills brought up, was when Bean and McDermott were with Carolina, they had 2 linebackers. They had Kuechly and the other guy. And then they drafted an undersized linebacker in Shaq Thompson and created a role for him. Bernard could be that Shaq Thompson guy. You know, so I'm like, okay, I can deal with it. We traded away our 4th round pick to move up to get Kaiir Elam at 23. We then traded back up in the 5th to grab wide receiver Khalil Shakur out of Boise State. This kid reminds me of Robert Woods, or Bobby Trees, as we like to call him. He's excellent. He has 4.42 speed, excellent, and it can be outside, inside. He great separation coming off. Curtis, you really want to look at somebody, some tape of a good college wide receiver? Check out Khalil Shakur. This kid has elite foot quickness. Will fit great. in our system. I have a feeling he's going to fit the Gabriel Davis role of 2 years ago, and you'll see him slowly. He also has punt kick return ability. And then we in the 6th round we took the punt god Matt Ariza. Raw prospect, could boot the ball a million miles.
Yep.
Needs to work on being able his hang time and coffin corners and a lot of little nuances. He was a kicker and punter in college, so he didn't get to spend that much time doing it, and he has to learn to hold the football for our kicker. Then the last 3, we got quarterback Christian Benford out of Villanova, a kid who's probably going to start at corner but end up moving to safety down the line. He's also going to be a special teams gunner. He was an elite college gunner on special teams. And then we grabbed offensive lineman Luke Tenuta out of Virginia Tech, a T-Rex, really tall, 6'8", short arms. Weird pick. I didn't get this one. And then our final pick was linebacker Balin Spencer out of Clemson. He's just a solid linebacker. He'll probably be a 4-core special teams player with backup duties.
Yep. And I agree here with Vlad coming in. Shakir was the steal of the draft. I definitely agree with that. As far as our draft goes, this guy was projected anywhere from the 3rd and 4th round. We got him in the 5th. He is going to be our future slot, in my opinion. I think he will be. Very good hands, very good speed. Like Mikey said, kick return ability.
Separation.
Has separation. Yeah, like watch this guy on tape. If you guys haven't watched him already, I suggest you do. The dude is legit. We got him in the 5th, so that's a steal.
The only thing he needs to work on is he had 18 total drops in college, and 10 of them came last year.
Yeah,
and the concentration drops, not hands issues.
Yeah, he'll work on that. Just I'm not that concerned. As far as the number 1 pick, like Mike, we talked about this earlier. I wasn't overly excited, obviously, in the beginning, but once I saw the film on him, understand, what he does best. Man, I love it because he's taller. He's a taller cornerback. He's physical at the line. He has really good speed. He's probably going to be our fastest corner out there. Trey White's next. But yeah, man. And then the rest of the picks, honestly, like James Cook, it's just like a cherry on the top. He was one of the best pass catching running backs coming out of the draft. Really like that, and that's what Buffalo was kind of going for when we tried to get McKissick, which I thought was I wasn't happy about that signing, so I'm glad it didn't work out anyways. And now look, we went and got a rookie on a cheaper deal, obviously a rookie deal, and he's going to be here a while. And will he be that RB1? No, I don't think he will be. Not this season. Moving forward, maybe if he gains a little bit of weight, a little bit of more muscle down low. He's a little bit thin on the bottom there. But other than that, I love our draft, man. And the punt god, like Mikey was saying, that 6th round, who cares? 6th round, you got the best punter coming out of college football. That needs a little work. And listen, it's not tackling. It's punting. He'll get it. He'll get it down. And I think we got it. We did a very good job. I'm going to give our grade like a B+, if I had a grade this draft. But yeah, that's the draft, guys, to sum it up. And man, we've been on here a little bit. I do want to get to something real quick. Is there anything else you want to say, Mikey, real quick? I saw you saying.
No. I was just going to ask the other guys what they thought of our draft.
Oh, I'll touch it right. I'll chime in real quick.
Captain D's been quiet. Captain D's been over there reading Dolphin comments.
I've been allowing you guys to conversate, but since 2010, Rob Gronkowski has been the last All-Pro that the Patriots have drafted, and I thought they had a great draft. I like their draft. I thought that they touched on some stuff that they really need. Cole Strange was a stretch, but all day, every day, Mac Jones is back there. Protect him. I like Marcus Jones. He's a punt returner too. He could kick return. Hey, people are sleeping on that. I like that. I like where they're going. The Bills, I like it a lot. I like Khair Aleem. I like him a lot. He's tall, lanky. I remember in 2009 when the Dolphins drafted Sean Smith, and it was crazy that a corner that tall at 6'3", 6'4", could run that fast. And he was with the Dolphins for a couple of years, but he wasn't that bad. So I respect that, and I like what everybody else did in the draft. It's great, but I like what the Patriots did, and I like what the Bills did.
Mr.
The East got
Positive, I
better.
respect it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the East got better. Really, the East got better across the board.
They did. They did.
Between really the AFC as a whole got better. If you start thinking about like what the West did, but I mean,
AFC.
really the AFC East did. Like the AFC East killed the draft this year. Like,
They did.
You
They did.
can say what you want about the Patriots draft. I like a lot of the guys. Did they reach for some? Yeah, but at the end of the day, if Belichick has a plan for him, more power to him.
Yeah, it's not sexy. It's not
No.
sexy at all, but I
But
like
you know
it,
what?
and
Sexy
it's in the
doesn't have
trenches,
to-
and that's what
Yep.
matters. That's
Yep.
what matters.
10 picks. I mean, even if you get
That's what matters.
4 or 3,
I like
yeah,
Five.
I mean,
You
you got
get
Or
half
out of
on
the
half
yeah.
of those picks.
right.
You've had a successful draft.
Yeah.
Curtis,
So-
what about you, buddy? What you think about the drafts? All these drafts besides the Dolphins.
I did film study because I was really targeting a center for the Dolphins with that 3rd round pick. Cole Strange and Zach Tom were the 2 guys I really liked the most. Cole Strange is a good player, man. He's got a little bit of weakness as far as strength, but the guy is so competitive, man. He finishes every block, so serious about his craft, so aggressive. Like somebody was saying, if this guy turns out to be a good starter, not even a Pro Bowl player, good starter at 27th overall with the trade back, we picked up a pick or 2 it's worth it. And you need to get a big hole at left guard. That's what you needed, left guard. So you know what? You trade back, you get the extra picks.
Biggest need.
It doesn't matter. As long as this guy is not a bust, he can even hold down for a couple of years, it's a win. But I like him. I think he has a chance to replace Andrews down the road too, because he came in and played center. He never played center before in Senior Bowl, and he got beat and came back, and they really love his competitiveness. He's a perfect Belichick guy, so I like that pick. The rest of the picks, I really don't know much about the rest of the guys in a draft. I got to wait and see. As far as the Bills draft, they needed a corner. That was the most important thing. I was concerned there that KC jumped up and grabbed the corner. And he was a really good zone guy and very mature, and he could have contributed right away.
That's where I thought you guys were going.
He doesn't have the physical talent. He didn't have all the big plays that he should have possibly, but he was a very solid player who came in and contributed right away. And that's my only concern is Elam. He has some growth. He's got some growth spurts. And so if he's got to start right away and say White doesn't come back till October, there's a lot of critical games early on. Yeah. Is that going to be enough? Because that's my concern. You guys got to come. Everybody's got to come out now. Because
that's my concern too.
What happened?
That's my concern too. Is Elam not quite ready?
Yeah, but I mean, it's
so
going to
have to be
because AFC East is. I mean, the whole AFC is just insanely. I don't remember a conference with this much quote unquote good teams, and we got to see how it plays out. But it's going to be a buzzsaw. You're going to have to come out hot, and the Bills really need to. They need to. It's not just KC anymore. There's a lot of tough teams, but the kid's got a load of talent, and if you can get it going, you can hold the fort until he can grow. It's going to be. It looks like he could be a good player. I had wanted you guys to take an offensive lineman, but I didn't know about Quisenberry. And once you got Quisenberry, that nullified my desire for you guys to get an offensive lineman because he can hold you down for a year or 2. So that was a really good pick. Cook, I'm not sure about Cook. I watched him. I like him. Don't love him. I don't really know what else was available over there in the second round at that point for you guys. Duke, he's really good. Duke Johnson, the running back, good at physicality, but he gets tentative when he has to make decisions at the line of scrimmage. Duke. So
I had to do that. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'm trying. I'm holding it in my head. I'm trying to hold it in my head. I'm old, dude. I'm old. Like I got Alzheimer's. So, he's good for you because Stafford and Deion Dawkins will get him over the line of scrimmage where he doesn't have to make those early reads. He's good at inside zone, and once he gets a little space, he can use that forcefulness to hit. But in our wide zone, you have to make too many choices early, and he didn't fit. So him, Singletary, who I like, he's a little hybrid. He can do a little bit of everything. And Moss, who I think going to be a lot better in this system because he's going to take that 220-pound body and just be a battering ram, and he's going to be doing it over the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. So I just wasn't sure about Cook. And in the rest of the guys, like I said, the punter is really important if he pans out because that's just a big.
Matt Hack was hot garbage. You could have given us a heads up. Why did you send him to us? Holy crap! Hot garbage, that guy.
Oh, he was thanks a lot, Dolphins. Give us that guard. He's good holder. Hey, I will say this though: your kicker wasn't as good when he left, though.
Yeah,
that's true.
He can hold all day.
I'm being honest. He's a terrible punter, but he's good.
I will say this. Tommy reached out to me when the Buffalo Bills draft Matt Ariza, and my automatic response was, I'm excited to see that guy because he had some great kicks and he was hitting. I give him that.
Dude, like 85.
He was hitting. I'm like, all right, okay.
I think he averaged like 55.
His hang time, he was out kicking his coverage. You can't do that in the pros, though. So he's going to have to get more hang time. If he kicks that line drive crap in the pros, you're going to see a lot more returns.
Yes, 100%. And also corner kicks. I didn't see much of those. But he'll get – listen, it's a punter.
He played at San Diego State. He had to punt from the other side of the field a lot. They didn't have a great offense. So he was punting Mikey, deep over and over.
What we normally do here, because we're about to wrap it up, epic rant of the week. I don't have one, but does anyone have an epic rant of the week they want to get to? Because we could do it.
I did 3 of them today, so
all right.
I don't think I have them anymore.
Yeah, you have one? Okay, so we'll play a little clip.
It is more about them than it is about the team. I cannot play with them. Cannot win with them. Cannot coach with them. Can't do it. I want winners.
All right, Captain D. That's an epic rant of the week.
Slap him on the head.
Go ahead, Captain D. What's your epic rant of the week?
My epic rant of the week is that they keep giving this idiot, this clown, Antonio Brown, so much coverage. And the things that he has to say is just so it just boggles my mind when I hear this stuff. And I'm just kind of like, why do we pay so much attention to Antonio Brown and what he has to say? He's just it's just such ignorance, and I just get so frustrated. I'm just like,
he gets clicks and views, man. That's why.
I get it.
But
I get it, but I'm just kind of like, look at the bigger picture.
I'm with you. I agree with you 100%.
Do not, publicize this guy's shit because it's such nonsense. That's my epic rant. And every time I see FS1 or ESPN talking about it, I'm just like, no, don't bring his stuff up and throw it out.
People love him. So they want to get those views. It's the same reason why Nick Wright comes out and just bashes on everyone who's not a Chiefs fan. Get those views.
That's what quote unquote media has turned to nowadays. There's no
it's all about
credibility anymore.
I just can't. So I
half
get
of them
frustrated
don't
when I
even
see
know. Half of them don't even know who's playing. Like we played the Titans, and they were talking about the Titans game, and they said that Trevor Lawrence was the left tackle for the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, I remember that.
Are you freaking kidding me?
That was wild.
You got basketball guys talking about football.
So I will say this. I'm all into,
or anything. All right.
I'm completely into a positive message and what makes sense, but from what I see and read off Antonio Brown, I do not agree with, and I do get frustrated when I see that. I'm like, why are we giving this guy so much airtime? It's idiotic to me. That's my epic rant. Antonio Brown, boo on you, whatever the hell it is. I don't want to hear that shit.
Do you think a team signs him though?
Hell
No,
no.
hell no. No.
You think he's blacklisted? Like that's
Hell
it?
yeah. After what he did at the Jets, hell yeah. On the freaking end zone going, oh nah, bro.
You know what I think it was? I mean, that was a lot of it, but I think when he went on that podcast.
Oh, right after,
Brady,
yeah.
And he threw Brady under the bus is really that's what did it from like there. I can't see any head coach GM going, all right, because he's going to throw you right under the bus.
Yeah.
If he's throwing a guy who
Brady
got you there, got you paid
because he wasn't getting his targets.
It's unbelievable, bro. Like, and he shaded him.
Just are true or not true, by the way. He was getting targets. He didn't want to catch him, he was always hurt. But he was getting his targets. Trust me. If Brady got Gronk his money that year, he was gonna get Antonio Brown his money too. So the dude's a liar.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, this was an awesome show, guys. I appreciate it. Everybody in the chat. But by the way, we will be starting this back up the end of July, right before the preseason. And like I said last year, guys, we're going to be going on everyone's channel. So Sports Dynasty Podcast 1 week, Captain D when he gets his channel up and going, which is the V Podcast. Go ahead and subscribe to that channel. He has no videos out yet, but he's going to get one out.
He's got a fire.
Pre-ordering. Get ready.
Yep. Mafia Sports Report. I think I have a Jets guy that I will let you guys know about as soon as it's confirmed. And then obviously me and Curtis, we will have a show on Fridays at 9:00 starting next week. AFC overtime that will cover everybody. And the AFC we will have special guests from other teams like content creators. So that'll be really fun. Check that out. And then me and Mikey doing our thing every Monday. Sports Dynasty, we'll get to you real quick. When are you guys going to go on next? Anything planned?
We're covering basketball mostly right now. There's a game going on right now as we speak. I'm gonna run to after this.
Are you a Boston Celtics fan? Like everything? I'm just curious. Like,
that's
what's
Trevor.
your guys' teams?
That's Trevor.
Okay, so he's all Boston.
My team is literally on the wall right there. That's Curry. That's who playing right now as we speak.
The Golden State Warriors.
I'm like fidgeting.
Best
a little
shooter
bit.
ever. Best three-pointer.
I believe we're gonna hit baseball right after that, but the group is full of it. So you want baseball content, go to our group, and you're gonna get it. But I think we're gonna start our guide to 2022 like almost right after the finals. So we're gonna have some NFL content very soon.
All right, awesome. Curtis, man, what you got going on over the Ace per Head, man?
Same thing. Put out a couple of videos a week on YouTube. Maybe one
day
man. The Twitter thing and the Facebook and all that stuff, but
I'm gonna get Curtis up to date on that, man. I'm gonna get Curtis.
I like smoke
and then he's gonna
do smoke signals. My podcast via smoke signals.
Curtis will be on for like one day and get banned from Twitter. I can almost promise. All right, man. And you guys know where to find Mikey at Apex006, and then on with me on Mondays, and then also hashtag on Friday. So everybody, I appreciate you guys coming. All you guys also as well. Captain D, Curtis, Juan, and Mikey, and everybody in the chat.
Hey,
we are out of here.
Wait.
Captain D, what you got? What you got?
Wait, real quick. Off the subject right here. Shout out to Rich Strike, 80-1 underdog at the Kentucky Derby. Get it? I love underdogs. Hey,
nice.
You ran like a stallion today.
Dude.
Get it? All right.
That's true. All right. Yeah, that's true. Did you win money on that?
Maybe.
Well, if you did, congrats, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats, because 80-1. My God. All right, y'all. Peace out. Go Bills.
Go Bills.